When it comes to funny meme weapons in Elden Ring, there's only one that truly delivers. I've been wanting a pizza this weapon for a long time. But is the Ghiza Wheel truly cracking the upper crust of weapons? I sure hope so. I'd love it if this colossal could be topping the other weapons. Now enough cheesy jokes. Let's see if this weapon has the sauce. Hey everybody, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you want to watch these runs live, follow us on Twitch. We're finding new ways to play Elden Ring all the time. We even play other games like Marvel Rivals, Minecraft, and Hades. But those videos will be over on Tulok time. For Magic the Gathering stuff, check out Tulok the Cardbarian. We're making some funky decks, and D&D 5e Homebrew is living over on Tulok the Barbarian. There's lots of ways to watch. Join the Patreon to support the channel. It's the best place to do it. Now, let's get started and have Ghiza take the wheel. So we recorded this before Carrie Underwood was going to be at that big party thing, and I knew this would be the first Neil drop. But then I was like, oh no, she sucks. But so does Ghiza. It all works out fine. I don't know why I like to wild strike into the Grafted Scion instead of jumping when I start as a hero, but hey, it's funnier. Obviously we're starting as a hero because this is a pure strength weapon. Wait, it's quality? That makes sense. Quality ingredients, quality pizza, Ghiza John. Let's imagine pizza time in Fortnite. Not today, we're still not a pizza man. For that, we need to pound the dough in the dragon bear dough. The dough here being dragon toes and the tenderizer being the spiked cestus. So less pounding the dough and more beating the meat. Google, can you beat your meat in a Papa John's on your work computer to see another fun challenge video. It's probably just gonna be that one kid who yells at the camera while he spins the pizzas really fast. He says Papa John's hasn't given him any money for those TikToks, and like, they should have. No joke, probably the most effective marketing campaign since Grimace Shake horror films. I'm not saying you have to hate your job, pizza kid. I'm just saying you've provided millions of dollars worth of free advertising to your employer and should be adequately compensated. Anyway, let's crush Boggart's shrimp because shrimp don't belong on a pizza. The only sea critter that should be near your pizza pie is an anchovy, and hot take, you should just blend that up and put it in your tomato sauce. Don't put it on as a topping. We need to warp up to Volcano Manor, but not for somber stones. Right up the stairs, there he is, Ghiza, I hardly know. He's kind of hard to fight with the base equipment. That wheel is hard to get in on. We get 2-shot and sometimes almost fully 1-shot. It's got a stupid amount of bleed, a stupid amount of poison, a big amount of reach. Can't wait to use it. All in all, it takes about 7 minutes of attempts to get up the stairs and get that pizza delivered. Honestly, not all that hard. Almost as easy as setting up your website with today's sponsor, Squarespace. That's right, gamers, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you're looking to get your business started in 2025, there's no better place to start than with a website. There's no better place to build a website than Squarespace. For example, if you were making a website about the Raya Lucaria Crystal Cave, you could use Squarespace's design intelligence to figure out your distinct branding solutions. You gotta make it distinct from the Academy Crystal Cave. It's totally different. Squarespace design intelligence will help you highlight that you have one crystallion instead of 2 crystallions. Squarespace even makes it easier for your customers to pay you by accepting ACH direct deposit, Klarna, Apple Pay, credit cards, PayPal, and even Afterpay and ClearPay if you want your customers to buy now and pay later. You've really got it to hand it to Squarespace there, much like you have to fight this hand outside Gelmir to get the Somberstone 4. Squarespace is also the best place to sell content from the comfort of your own home. Sure, that home might not be Volcano Manor with its accessible Somber 5s and Somber 6s, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to sell videos, blogs, and online courses. Squarespace makes it so easy even an unga bunga strength enjoyer like me can figure it out. We built our website on your work computer in an afternoon as a goof. I just thought it would be funny, and it was also fun to design the website using Squarespace. Is it as funny as a professional Elden Ring creator losing to the Godskin Noble? Probably not. To get started with Squarespace, go to squarespace.com and get your free trial going today. Then when you're ready to publish, go to squarespace.com/tulokmango for 10% off your first website or domain. Again, that's squarespace.com/tulokmango for 10% off your first website or domain. Now let's get back to delivering those tasty pizzas.
Hit it like one Papa Bomb. Get it hot like Papa John.
Okay, so we lost to the Godskin Noble. I'm sorry, I'm not Mr. Perfect. This weapon should be pretty good for the fight too. It's pure slashing, the bleed is good, and then we get him stuck on the pillar.
Pizza time.
The Ash of War lets you spin, spin, spin your pizza wheel. It racks up the bleed pretty fast. That's about it though. For whatever reason, it doesn't boost the combo boosting stuff in the game. The damage isn't all that impressive. It's just kind of funny. So you know, I like it. I'd like a lot of bad stuff in the game if it was funnier. Now we get to run through the rest of the manor and grab some somber 7s to make sure that we get a nice big +9 pizza cutter to slice through the rest of the game. After I make sure we get paid. I'm not going to be like that Papa John's TikTok kid. I'm going to get my money, and get it we do. This thing slams and jams those clean rots like it's nobody's business. Against the putrid avatar, we try a new method. The charged attacks on this thing are also unique, spinning the wheel to get a few extra hits. The only problem is the two-handed charge attack makes the wheel and its animation behind you, which is not where the boss is. But the one-handed charged attacks end up in front of you, which is where the boss is. So it's kind of a weird colossal weapon that can actually work better one-handed in a lot of scenarios. If we can kill Grail fast enough, we can save the pickle and get more runes. It's sloppy. Our lack of armor means that we have to double chug after every hit, at least until we make a Weeping Peninsula field trip. Of course, we do get the double boss pickle, because I'm the best pizza chef around. I could even make pickles on a pizza work. Margit gets absolutely sliced and diced, which isn't surprising, but it is funny. No matter how many times I beat this guy, I still remember the first time he said I was unworthy when I was. I was new to the game, and he proved he was right like 200 times. Godric also killed me a bunch, but now he gets clowned on. It only takes one hit in phase 2, but that's still neat. Did you know dogs shouldn't eat pizza? It's toxic to them, probably. I don't know. They're just not supposed to eat a lot of foods, and I feel like a Supreme Pizza probably has something on it that they shouldn't have. But I know what you really want to know. Can Moonrum parry it? Does he need to, is I guess the better question. It appears nope. Renala's kids love pizza, so much that they pass out. And against Renala proper in phase 2, the pizza time kinda locks her into place. A little bit. Again, I like it because it's funny. Radahn party, you can't have a party without pizza, especially if you're worried about your employees unionizing. Our union brings in the big stance pressure and bleed for an early easy win. On the way through Altus, I decided to try the horsey charge attack since that also spins the wheel. It works great on the Knight's Cavalry. Huh, neat. But what's also neat, our armor set is in the sewer, which means no gargoyles this run.
Yes! Hell yeah!
Instead, we fight the Draconic Tree Sentinel, and he is a little easier. We're able to get both of the charged R2 off, and the second one will actually continue to chugga chugga chugga. With that, we've already delivered to the royal capital. Let's go get dressed and jam this weapon into Radagon's chest. Can't wait to get a wheel in this guy. Wait, you really need to read that joke for it to make sense. Needle drop. See what I mean? I do wish the crit also revved the wheelie spikes. Wouldn't that be cool if you like jammed it in and it revved and got a bunch of bleed? Whatever. Technically, we can run down the stairs to grab the armor right away, but if we clean out the shade and then Morgoth, we can just go to Deeproot right away. For the shade, it's just hitting. It can't bleed. There's no real strategy we can do beyond rolling and hitting. Honestly, kind of the same thing against Morgoth, except he can bleed. Isn't that wild? Just realized both Morgoth and Mohg have phase transitions that make them take confusingly less damage and stance pressure for a bit. Like, they're brothers. In Night Rain, I hope we get the same thing for Godwyn. For real though, what if the boss health bar for the Nameless King shows up and it just says Godwyn, firstborn of America?
What the fuck?
Oh, also, I was wrong. The armor is on the way to the Four Biden lands, right next to the blade of the Calling. I can't use that weapon this run. If I could, then I would. The rest of the armor is in the sewer, and it's not even that deep in. It's bloody bandages. This guy shouldn't be handling food. Hot take. He sprays blood every time he fights someone. Wait, he fights people. Actually, even if he didn't make people bloody when he fights them, we should not have a person who does violence in the restaurant. They don't even do that on The Bear, and that's a show about a bear who owns a restaurant, I'm pretty sure. Armor set is done, and we're not technically naked. Hooray! But if you go to work in a bathrobe and band-aids, you're probably still gonna get fired. Just as fired as you would be if you only went to work in your underpants, especially at a restaurant. I carve up some omens on the way down, since I don't want to deal with them chasing me up the ladder. Then it's time for the Gaslight Dungeon, which is pretty alright. Nothing too serious here. For the boss, it's an NPC, so
Pizza time.
Alright, I think he'll just walk into it. Holy shit, it's such a good NPC tool. And finally, we'll go all the way to the bottom and say hi to Harder Mohg. This Mohg is harder for this build because it can't bleed, and this build likes the bleed. Stance pressure is huge, damage is still huge, but we're basically still naked. Not sure what we have to do to get a run that has some armor on it, but lately it seems like we're just wearing robes and paper towels or nothing at all. Second try, get the W. It wasn't even that bad. The real boss is the platforming, and can I just say, I am goated. Goated. Deep Root unlocked, let's go back to the cleanup we usually do before the capital. Fia ordered a big pizza for all her champs, but she doesn't have any money. Well, no cash, no za. Instead, we deliver ouchies. First guy walks back slowly. Roger just gets hit. Then we use our big wide arc for Lionel and the Twink and finish with some pizza time on the final guy. I don't know if Ghiza can carry a manor, but having a wheel can't hurt. Unless you're the Loretta Ghost. Then the wheel hurts a lot. Mimic Tier is an NPC.
Pizza time.
The moose is a moose, and I'm just bonking it. No pizza time for the moose. They're herbivores, but they do love violence. Also, what am I saying? Vegetarian pizza exists. Now, Rykard wouldn't order the vegetarian pizza. He'd get the meat lovers. Ooh, wait, I gotta go back and do all the other bosses because that's a fun minigame to do for this run. What is the pizza order of every boss? So, okay, reverse order. Moose, spinach pizza, for sure. Fia's champs get one of those pizzas where they ask for like 5 different sections that each have different toppings. I don't think Fia's got enough money for everyone to have their own pizza. Morgott loves a 2-topping pizza, but he has to be really good to earn it. Otherwise, Marika won't order it for him. And the fucked up thing? He thinks cheese counts as a topping because that's what Marika told him. He literally just gets pepperoni. She can afford all the toppings she wants. She just hates him. Renala, just cheese. That's what the kids want. That's what she gets because she loves her kids. If it was her choice, black olives. Radahn, veggie lovers, no onions. He's so tight with Leonard, he's a vegetarian, but he is deathly allergic to onions. Godric, barbecue pizza, white cheddar. It's technically a flatbread, but he loves to be bathed in sweet baby rays of gold. For Demlands, kind of feels like the country needs a pizza party. That's what you do when you don't want your workers to form a union, so let's make some pizza parlors where everyone can grab a slice. Bread and circuses, or hey, stop the populace from a revolution. Bread is expensive, and y'all are banning TikTok, which is the modern circus. At least give us some garlic knots. Fire Giant. Once we get that stance break, we just need a bleed, so it's time for foot pizza, which is wild because Fire Giant is the closest to my order, Pizza Diablo. Jalapeno and spicy sausage. Based pizza, buddy. You're dead though, which means more pizza for me. Godskin Duo go half and half. The Noble likes the Supreme, the Apostle likes left pizza with none beef. They're both weak to slash. Once we clear out the large lad, we just hit the incoming solo ones with the pizza time while burning tanks. Perfect strategy. Malekith likes it with extra cheese and mushrooms, giving it that delicious death flavor. The extra cheese is because he's either a cat or a dog, and both like cheese. We get our stance break in phase 1, then roll pretty poorly in phase 2. Oh well. We have a lot of stance pressure, so we get another break in phase 2 and finish it off with a little pizza time. The crit probably would have been better, but this is funnier. Sir Gideon the All-Knowing gets a margarita pizza, even though he hates basil. He just wants to feel superior to everyone else and talks about how this is actually the most authentic version of pizza. It's not even true, especially because, my guy, we're ordering from Papa John's. Godfrey gets a meat lovers, no crust, no sauce. That's just cheese and meat on cardboard, ideal for his gains. He eats the cardboard too because no one's going to stop that appetite. Fight goes fine. It's actually easier than Ghost Godfrey because he can bleed, and he has these mini phase transitions in each phase where he just stands still and lets you hit him while he winds up a big stomp. Radahn gets basic cheese because, and this is a direct quote from his special instructions section of the website, the only topping I want is from my wife. I only know that because he posted it on Blue Sky like he was proud of it. Killed us the first time, oh well. We're not super well suited for this fight. It's sort of just a big weapon we can hit him with. Now against the Elden Beast, we one-hand this sucker and get those spinny R2s. They're fun. I don't know if the damage is actually better than the damage boost we would get for two-handing, but they're funny. And remember, I'm mostly here for the funny. Funny works fine, even though the Space Whale can't bleed. We cut it a little close, greeting in for the crit during the Elden Stars, but it's all good. We lived. No complaints. Funny thing about light armor sets. They're pretty fine against elemental damage types. They're just useless against physical damage. Pizza has been delivered to heaven, but we've got another order to the Halig Tree. Oh my god, how is that even in our delivery radius? Whatever, let's serve it up hot and fresh.
But you were under my wheels, honey.
Placiduous Axe gets a 2-topping. He used to do Supreme, but now there's only 2 mouths with 2 flavor profiles. Both of them like Hawaiian, pineapple and ham, and I just said that because I rolled bad and died, and some of you act like pineapple on pizza is a war crime, so I want you to hate this guy. It is just salty and sweet though, dudes. But it's not authentic Italian. Neither is eating alone at a desk watching anime. You do that. Second try goes a little bit better because we actually roll. Wild concept, right? Speaking of wild concepts, we didn't actually run the errands for Ronnie earlier because we went to Deep Root through the sewers. So I guess we'll have to do some delivery. Also, I forgot to do Estelle. I don't have to be honest about that. Could have lied to you. I doubt anyone would have noticed. Could have fixed it, but I didn't notice until it was too late, and we already started the New Game Plus run that's on the top of this run. So, oh well, no Estelle. He orders a calzone anyway, little freak. Fortis Axe just likes mushrooms, just death. But wait, there's anchovies. Yeah, he likes to be a little shocking. Big weapon, hit toes, move on. Castle's Hole, and Niall just gets whatever the deal is. He's got a lot of mouths to feed in Castle's Hole, probably a variety. I'm not saying he's a bad commander or anything, but it's basic stuff. Pepperoni, a veggie, and a cheese. Even though he orders the pizza, he's the last in line for it. Great guy. He kills us. Not a great guy. Second fight, we put a little dirt in his eye, get the stance break, and order a large, tall fuck you.
Pizza time.
Penguin Noble can flask through the pizza time. I guess it's always good to drink water with your meal. Prevents acid reflux, but damn. Now Moog gets no cheese, only sauce. It's just a joke about tomato sauce being red, not a joke about the DLC confirming he doesn't like cheese pizza. Anyway, did you know he's weak to bleed? We're using those one-handed R1s. Probably should have just two-handed for the stance pressure, because if we broke him down, he would die in one pizza time, but it still went fine. Hey, wait, why are you in the DLC, Phil? You haven't done Malenia. Well, believe it or not, this run will have a Spirit Ash, per my new Spirit Ash rule. If I want one, I'm grabbing one. And for this one, I want a DLC option, because I think it would be funny. Which means media literacy early. Inquisitor Ghiza tortures people, and that's bad. Thanks for coming to media literacy. Seriously though, torture is bad, and the best and most honest argument for it is as a means of punishment, because it is not a good means of interrogation at all. Think about it. If you're being tortured, you kinda just say anything to make the torture stop. You can probably also figure out what your torturer is hoping to learn from you, even if you don't know anything. Which most of the time, you probably don't. If you think torture is effective, it's because the military literally funds movies and TV shows and has for decades. But at the advent of the war in Iraq and the plethora of torture techniques being committed by the US military, those funds specifically were used to make you think torture is effective in shows like 24 and Lost, including, and especially including, Zero Dark 30. That movie is 90% made up to make torture look like a necessary evil, when in fact, it ain't. And poor old Ghiza isn't even Mr. Torture anymore, since Rykard and the Volcano Manor family have moved on from their role as the Erdtree's Golden Torture House and are now the Cannibal Cult Content Farm. What's up, guys? It's your boy Rykard the Blasphemous. Today we're doing the Sinning Man Challenge, where I eat a man who sinned in one bite. Boing! Funny how that happened too, isn't it? Like the perpetual desensitization to violence and dehumanization of other people kind of gave Rykard a great path to make a cult. Sunk cost fallacy is just a real humdinger, cats. The more you've invested in something, the more your brain tells you it's gotta be legit. So if you start off maybe, I don't know, roughing up a prisoner that the boss tells you to go a little harder on, it might tell you to go a little harder, and you get used to saying yes. The yeses become easier, the no's become harder, and your brain is tricked into going along with that, because you've done some bad stuff, so it's gotta be for a good cause, right? Otherwise you'd be a bad person, and you're not a bad person. The torture you did was necessary. Ghiza probably thinks he's a good dude. Most people do, but harming your fellow tarnished is always kind of messed up, and it's a vicious cycle that spins and spins, leading to more and more blood. Yeah, you think the wheel weapon being given to the torture man wasn't an intentional metaphor? This game is good. They have so much attention to deal. Of course it is all intentional metaphor. In the DLC, we see another cycle of torture and violence with the shamans and the Hornsent. The Hornsent got the whips that they use to whip the shamans who don't want to go in the pot. But America comes out of that cycle and goes right back into it at the top. Because another reason torture and violence are ineffective is you make more enemies. When someone is hurt by, or their family is hurt by, an imperial power, they probably start to hate that imperial power. Revenge is such a major component to American media. So many movies are about a dude who gets wronged and then he gets even. John Wick's dog dies and we're cool spending 6 hours watching him kill an average of 2.7 people per minute of movie. It's not factually accurate, but it could be. You don't know either. Liam Neeson's daughter got taken? Time for some suffering. And in the case of Taken 2 and 3, the suffering is on us as an audience, because those movies suck. It's funny though, how when the characters are black or brown and talking about their villages being bombed by the Americans. Wow, and you responded with violence? That's not okay. Violence is never the answer. Unless your raccoon friend was tortured. Then you can kill everyone in the building as a treat. By the way, I'm obviously not pro-retaliatory violence at all. Violence is, hot take, bad. But retaliatory violence is retaliating to violence. And imperialism is essentially synonymous with violence. You don't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs. You don't start living somewhere someone else used to live in if they're still living there. That's all over Elden Ring. And it's emphasized even harder in the DLC. Cycles of violence, cycles of neglect, cycles of abuse. Your character is in a cycle, trying and failing and respawning to try again. It's all a big wheel. And the best course of action is doing everything you can do to stop that wheel. By the way, the Spirit Ash is the big mouth imp. It's the Noid, like from Domino's, or just a creature with a big enough mouth to handle the pizza we're serving. Jory goes pretty poorly after we pick the big mouth up, obviously just because we haven't leveled up the strongest Spirit Ash in the game. Kind of just throwing myself at it until we lose our runes and only going back in because my runes are in there. No armor, no Spirit Ash, Jory, absolutely miserable. We can kind of lock her for a second with the pizza time, but not very long. Takes about 7 minutes, then we get a win. Oh, and on the way up the mountain, we kill Gilka for the first time in a while. And get fucked. A pleasure to see you after all this time. Despite picking up Big Mouth because I thought it would be helpful against Malenia, it makes its debut against Loretta. And, bro, knocked her out of the damn air. Bro is pushing her across the map. What the fuck? I'm sorry. That is the funniest shit I have ever seen in this entire fucking game. Ow. That's so fucking funny. Holy shit. It pushes her 5 feet. Oh, okay, that's the funniest fucking Spirit Ash. By the way, Loretta gets green peppers and olives. No evidence, just vibes. Malenia, it's onions, obviously. Anyway, let's fight. That knocks her over, huh? I think with the Noid, this is really not going to be a problem. They really put the blasphemous blade on a Spirit Ash. We can just wait for her to get floored, then hit one-handed charge attacks and carve her up. Also, in addition to knocking her down, the damage is like really good. Unironically, this is a fantastic Spirit Ash. Let me solo her, more like let me mouth her. She comes out of the onion and we're already almost to the second onion, which comes way later than usual. I think because she just didn't want to do it twice in a row. After that, just one more attack. Yeah, she's not talking about me though. When she says your strength extraordinary, she's talking about this motherfucker right here, the king. I just want to give credit where it's due. Let's get back in that DLC and finish things off with one final pizza time. Now, normally we do the Shadow Tree Farm and talk media literacy, but we kind of already did that, so I'll just come back when we're fighting bosses, except this Fire Knight isn't a boss. He just won't stop shredding us. This guy is the true Moongrim of the DLC, not the fake fan in Rolana's house. Because like Moongrim, this guy just can't mind his own damn business. If you think Gaius would put ham on his pizza, you're disgusting. Vegetarian, he loves his piggy so much. Vegetarians get gravity magic, I don't make the rules. He fully bodies us the first fight. No respect for our Dragon Crest Great Shield, just fully flattens us. Second try, we manage to greet a little bit better, flask up, and still get very, very close to dying, but don't die. Except my controller. Oh! I think my controller died. Good thing that didn't happen during the fight. Mesmer likes it spicy. I'm talking Thai chilies and battery acid. He's lactose intolerant too, so those BMs are like lava snakes coming out of his ass. What do you think phase 2 is? I bring in Jolan, she's got the bleed, but more importantly, I bring in Big Mouth. Our friends make this pizza party end so fast, I don't even get to hit the funny Ash of War. Good job, team. Romina doesn't order pizza with bugs, she is a bug, and bugs don't eat other bugs.
Wait a minute!
She puts little florets on there, edible flowers, it's fancy, but come on, she's a fancy lady. Those scales make her resist slashing damage a little bit, but she can bleed, so we still squish her. Now, weird order thing in the new game runs, it's time to make the Dancing Lion the 4th boss of the DLC. This dude'll gobble up anything, he's not picky, but he'd prefer a meat lovers, a veggie lovers, and an extra cheese. Then he puts them all on top of each other for what he calls Bellurat Deep Dish. Freaky deaky order. Big Mouth Imp is the savior here. He pumps the damage out from a distance and he's not shy about it. Since we're always hard in the paint, most bosses don't end up trying to attack him. He's just perfectly safe to snipe in some regular damage and poise break smaller enemies. Not the Dancing Lion though he does get pushed a little bit, funnily enough. We can hop right over to the Rolana fight. She's the same size as Malenia, so Big Mouth should knock her down.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
Okay, well she does a half and half pizza. Left pizza, spicy sausage and jalapenos. Delicious. Right pizza, blue cheese. Not a pizza. Ugh, yuck. We get the stance break, and I think that's close enough to finish her with the pizza time. I was wrong, but it doesn't take too much more time to wrap things up. Mid or after that, hasn't even been 10 minutes since we did the dancing lion. Time flies when you're hanging out with the Noid, baby. He also doesn't get knocked down and resists the fire damage. Bad news though, he doesn't even order pizza, just crazy bread, but he calls it normal bread.
I'm the Joker, baby.
Despite having a big health bar, he actually breaks down pretty fast and is susceptible to bleed. This weapon's turning out to be pretty swell in the DLC. It's nice when something gets better instead of worse, you know? I mean, duh. What does that sentence even mean? Do you like good things and not bad things? Yes, duh, Phil, come on. Anna gets hit with the spin and we have just enough mana to still summon the Noid. Like, Noid. Literally, like, how much should we have left? Literally 1 FP left. Amazing. It's meant to be. Meteor gets a chicken finger pizza and also a bunch of slash damage to the weird tentacle chest thing. Easy slicing and dicing. Now the flour would order thin crust, minimum sauce, minimum cheese. It photosynthesizes, so it usually tries to eat light. I'm just trying to protect my Noid since it's launching fire damage, though the spindly tree body makes our boy miss more than he hits. Until the end, I think that's it. Oh my god. Ah, putrescent tonight with your ice cubes and jelly pizza. During the phase transition, the Noid proves that size does not matter when it comes to his bullying. Oh my, just pushes him. And also, he listens. Ow, finish it, Noid. He's really bringing the boom. Against Leda and the gang, he also brings the boom. He brings the boom to them. Since they're NPCs, every shot flattens them. Finally, Radahn and Mikola. Both are getting cheese pizza because that's what Mikola wants. And no, you can't just pick the toppings off if you're picky. The toppings bake with the pizza, Dad. The sauce gets the flavor. And when you pick the toppings off, it pulls the cheese off. I know this is a joke about kids being picky, but it is 100% true. Kids are right about this. They're right. If someone doesn't want a topping, don't order it on the pizza. Why are you ordering a pizza your kid doesn't want to eat? Why are you prioritizing yourself as the parent and not just eating cheese and being okay with it? You're like, oh, my kid has to like olives as a fucking 8-year-old. I'm working through some stuff. We don't win the first try, so it's fine that I was ranting about pizza toppings. Second attempt, we drop the Noid right before phase 2 and he scoops Ansbach up for a big hug. With the punish, great job, Phil. The Noid is really only getting hit when there's a big AoE, otherwise Ansbach and I almost always have the aggro. Our colossal weapon is bringing the stance pressure and he just doesn't go for phase 2 after the bleed. Jump, dude, jump. I need a healing window. Finally, he goes for the nuke and I try to finish it off with one last.
Pizza time.
Second try win. Final fight, it's Bale, and this dude gets the deep dish. Is it traditional? No, but it's big, it's tasty. And tradition is for losers like Placidusax. Plassy is the dude crying, I'm Italian, this is hurting me. And Bale is the Chad going, the cheese is under the sauce. Fun fight, fun weapon. Fun run! This stupid ass Mesmer Knight killed me more than any boss did. Ghiza Wheel, it's funky, and it should work for the combo tier, but just because it doesn't make it bad. It's still good, just not as good as it should be. No armor again, haha, what a story, Mark. Lack of armor isn't a huge issue if you don't plan on getting hit. And honestly, with Vigor, Dragon Crest Great Shield, and the Opaline Hard tier, you can get hit a little bit. It's not great, but it's doable, because y'all know I ain't the best at this game. Really, I just want everyone to go pick up the Big Mouth Imp, one of the funniest, funnest Spirit Ashes in the game. He'll bring this up to a nice A tier. It probably should be B tier, but hey, it was funny. And it's my list with my rules, so that's how we're doing it. I thought our weapon would be the thing that delivers, but the Spirit Ash is the one who truly served. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We're making new videos all the time. Follow us on Twitch to watch us stream, and subscribe to all of the other channels if you want to watch us do other stuff.